Hello everybody, Matthew Montoya, Partner, Enablement and Training Manager with Constant Contact with another Marketing Minute. Now this week I'm going to highlight two features recently released, A/B Split Tester for subject lines and the social share feature built into the product.
The first new feature I'm going to show you is the A/B Split Test subject line tester. Now, this had been available in product for several months, but it was listed under the beta in the campaign picker. It is now in a much more natural place. So it is going to be found in the workflow as you build an email. It's going to be the place where you expect it. So you construct the email. Once you're done constructing the email, of course, this email needs to be built in the newest editor. I'm going to hit continue here. And down here, after we choose the list we're going to send to, is a pretty obvious flag here, new feature. We're going to click A/B test. And then basically what you would do is you would put in one subject line and you would put in another. The next step is to determine how much of the list is going to receive each subject line. So the idea here is that we're going to send two different subject lines to a certain percentage of the audience. Then we're going to wait a preset amount of time, and the remaining audience will receive the winning subject line, making sure that most of the audience in a list would receive the best possible subject line. So the first step here is to determine how much of the audience split will occur. So I'm going to do a 25-25-50 split, and I'm going to lower this from 48 hours of the test to 24 hours of the test. Now, the next thing I would do is schedule the email to go out. What's going to happen is that a quarter of the list is going to receive this subject line, a quarter of the list is going to get this subject line, then 24 hours will go by, and then the winner, the one that got the most opens of the two subject lines, will be sent to the remaining 50% of the list. So in this case, 75% of the list will receive the best possible subject line you or your client can come up with. Now, I do want to point out that to have the best test possible, we suggest a list of at least 1,000 contacts. That's because, of course, the smaller the grouping, the less certain we're going to be. I mean, we, you, and Constant Contact are going to be on whether the subject line itself was the cause of the behavioral change. The smaller group we pull from, it could have been different factors such as time of day, or the relationship that was established between the client and their subscription list, and a wide variety of other things. You don't necessarily have to have 1,000. In fact, right now, I'm sending this to myself to 3 different accounts, so you can do it with any list. We just suggest for the best sample size, 1,000. Doesn't have to be that, but that's going to be the best test. Once I send that email out, what you would do is wait a few days. In this particular case, 1 day. And we would look at the reporting. Now, once our testing time has concluded, we would go into our reports and look at the report for that particular email. What we'd want to see is the breakdown of the two subject lines. So you can see here that 400 people were sent list A, 400 people were sent list B. The remainder was sent to 1,200 people, and it was the second subject line that proved to be the most popular. Now, the good news is the results don't end there. We can actually view the report for technically these 3 emails, because they're not considered the same email per se, even though that 2 of them have the same subject line in this report. So you can see the analytics for the opens and clicks here, but you can also see the individual click-through analytics just like you always have been able to from an email. Now, this is going to be important because not only are you going to know that the subject line was the best performing, but then, of course, with the click-through rate, you're going to be able to analyze what in particular the email was found most valuable. These two pieces together are really a huge benefit to you and your clients. If I can talk a little bit about the value of split testing in the mindset of your clients, because if you can get them to understand split testing, well, let's just back up. Just split testing itself is going to help them grow. But if they understand the idea of split testing, perhaps they'll do more testing on other items. So be willing to do a split test, literally sending 2 emails almost identical with different color schemes or different content placement, allowing you to produce the best possible email for them, and of course, increasing your billable hours or increasing the amount that you can have them spend with you. Next item I'm going to show you, I know many of you have been waiting patiently for. It is now in product. Let's talk a little bit about some social features in Constant Contact. So again, I'm in the new editor, and I'm going to first talk a little bit about some changes to the existing social experience. So changes recently made in the existing social world is the edit bar has now moved from the center of the screen to the left of the screen, but you can do the same things with the social icons that you could do before as far as placement. I can change the order, I can delete icons, I can add icons. Now, one additional really great feature is now you can change the style of the icons to better match the look and feel of your client email. I would expect that we'll see some more styles coming in soon here. But I want to talk a little bit about what you might have noticed there as I was editing. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a new social block. I'll put it towards the top here. I'm going to edit, and instead of using the link to your social media account or your client's social media account, I'm going to switch off of link to my pages, and I'm going to go to share on your reader pages. As the name suggests, what this will allow people to do is click on these icons and share your content or your client's content on their personal social media page, magnifying the message, magnifying the power of the email to those subscribers. Now, the way this works is when somebody clicks on it, they're going to see a social media little window pop open with their social media profile picture and have the ability to type out a message, Facebook tweet, LinkedIn message, and then share it to their audience. Now, this feature had been a part of the older editor, the older Constant Contact experience. I know many of you that have been with us for a while have been hoping to see this in product. Here it is. So let's go ahead and show you some of the editability of this tool as it is now. I can change the order of the icons, and I can add LinkedIn if I like. I hit done. You probably want to add in a spacer above it just to give it just a little more padding. It doesn't necessarily have to go at the top. I do suggest, though, you probably keep the two away from each other, the two social media icons, lest people get confused. And you may even want to be explicit and put in a text block and add just a small text here at the top saying share with your friends, share with your followers. And, of course, I can change the color of the background if I want to change it to match the client look and feel. Now, a really important note, you won't be able to test this in preview. So if I go to preview, nothing's going to happen when I click on these links. That's because the email actually has to be sent to generate the web version of the email that would be seen when somebody in social media acts on these links. So what you need to make sure you do is, if you're really worried about them working, send one copy to yourself, verify that it works, it will work, and then make a copy of it and send that copy out to the audience. But let's show you how this actually is received once it's sent out. Of course, once the email is received, these buttons would be live, and should somebody choose to click on it, a window would open up, and you can see the profile of me here because I'm the one that's doing this. But of course, their profile, the receiver, the subscriber, would see their icon here, and the subject line would appear from the original email, along with a hardwired hot link to the actual web version of the email. And of course, you could type more content in here and tweet it out, or put it out on Facebook, put it out on LinkedIn, whatever the subscriber's decision was. And you'll be able to see, once you look in the reports, the click-through penetration for those links. That's going to give you some insight into which social media platforms the subscriber base is most interested in sharing content to, which also may give you some strategy to help your client help their social media business, social media marketing business as well.
That's it for this Marketing Minute. We'll see you next time, everybody. Take care. Thank you.